Good morning. Welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Malaki Vilodera. Now today on the Solutions segment, we are carrying forward that conversation. Today it's all about road safety. And the World Health Organization, actually, road safety report indicates that Uganda loses about 24.7 people out of 100,000 people that are involved in road accidents. So that's quite a high number, and so we need to do something about it. And so thanks to the partnership between NTV, the Ministry of Works and Transport, and Vivo Energy, we're doing something about it, and we need you to be in this particular team. And so to talk about that and just to forge solutions to this, especially now that we're geared up for Christmas, it's December, we have Mr. Ronald Amanyire. He is the Secretary, National Road Safety Council at the Ministry of Works and Transport. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome. And next to him, we have Mr. Sam Bambaza. He is a team leader at Hope for Victims of Traffic Accidents. Welcome to the show.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. I know the big conversation today is on the caravan. We're having the caravan today. Tell us more about that before we move into other matters.
Thank you, Mala. The Road Safety Caravan today is about sensitizing the road users along the Kampala-Jinja Highway on road accident prevention and responding to road accidents. If you are, of course, if you live along the road or you walk around the road, you're most likely going to be the first responder to an accident. And that's why we have Red Cross on board also to be doing some training for normal people, bystanders. We have two arrangements. We are flagging. There's a team coming from Bugembe in Jinja. Then another team from Kampala, not really Kampala, but from Namamve, SGS station. They are gathering there. That team is going to be flagged off by the Honorable Minister of Works and Transport. And the team in Jinja is going to be flagged off by the Director of Traffic, like you heard he was saying. So we shall have stops along the way that we think have a sizable number of bystanders or people. Let's say things like border stages and taxi parks and even market vendors, and we educate them about road safety prevention, road accident prevention, and road accident response.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that's a great move, because then someone would say, especially when it comes to training the normal person about how to respond or how to actually treat victims of road accidents, very important, because here the people who will save you when an accident happens is the bystanders. So that's very important.
Yes.
Right. And when it comes to the training of I don't know, I'm sure you've gone through the small bit of training. What's the process like? Like, how long does it take? Because I can imagine it's a caravan, and the Red Cross will be training the bystanders. But how long is just basic training? How long does it take?
The basic training, I think, by Uganda Red Cross probably takes about 15 minutes.
Brilliant.
This is about, you have to know the first things that you need to do. You have to identify which part of the body is injured first. I think they look at the head first, and then they respond accordingly. I think then next, I think they go to the chest. They'll show you, we shall be showing people how to provide that. You see people pressing someone's chest, you don't know why.
Right.
That's what we shall be training about. You see people blowing in someone's mouth, you don't know why. So those are the things we shall be doing, and I think we usually keep it to around a maximum of 15 minutes. Of course, the real first aid training can take, I think, probably around 2 weeks, but of course we can do a cover for 2 weeks. So this is, but even this is very crucial, because sometimes you just need 5 minutes to save someone's life in case of an accident. Accidents are different, and you get all sorts of injuries in an accident, and depending on who responds, a life that could have been saved, you end up losing it. So the ultimate objective of the road safety caravan is to save lives.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Mr. Sam, you're a key figure when it comes to road accident victims. Just tell us about what exactly it is that you do at Hovita. How do you get in touch with these victims, road accident victims, especially now that we know that many cases are the hit and runs? Someone will hit maybe a pedestrian and they're gone. So how do you, kind of help these people out so that they can be able to get help at the end of the day?
Oh, thank you very much. Hope for Victims of Traffic Accident is an NGO that is focusing on the fifth pillar of UN Decade of Action for Road Safety. That is post-crash response. So we started that NGO to ensure that we can help road crash victims. And it is the area that is normally neglected according to WHO report of 2004. And it is one of the areas that gives feedback to other pillars of road safety. So we are trying to help the victims so that victims can have justice.
Right. And
then victims can, we ensure that there is victims can have information of how they can be helped. For example, they are entitled to be compensated under Motor Third Party Act. They are supposed to have information of how the investigation is being done. They are supposed to have information on how they can be assisted in hospitals, who knocked them, or that. So we are trying to, we have been working behind the scenes. So we have started opening up, and that's why we have now partnered with the justice centers. We have signed an MOU this year, such that we can so that we can provide justice and ensure these people get justice for them and be compensated. And then we also have another program on empowerment of these victims, such that if you have lost legs, how can you be able to be productive again into the society? We have come up with a program for income generating activities that these people who are survivors can be able to ensure that their families can survive, can be able to provide bread again to their families. Right. We want to make sure that we have partner with relevant hospitals so that they can always refer them to us.
Okay.
At the moment, we are doing what we call Motor Third Party Advisory Services. We help the victims to ensure that the insurance compensates them under that act.
Okay, and we'll actually get to that, so you can actually teach us today. If I'm a victim today, how do I get to claim for that? Mr. Ronald, let us in on this one. Let's now get into the solutions. People talk about insurance, and nowadays it's casual. Provided I go get that sticker, that's it. We don't understand insurance. But how important is insurance when it comes to road safety? Just help us understand that.
Insurance is very important because it's the only way to help victims who don't have means of their own, victims who are not insured as individuals with health insurance. So we have the motor third party that we was talking about, which is still a challenge because the law is a bit old and has a cap. I think it's 1 million.
Yes, it's 1 million.
It's 1 million and it doesn't cater for I think the driver. It only caters for if the driver, I think, a third party, someone outside the vehicle, someone not related to the vehicle. So it is a bit lacking, and I think IRA is trying to revise that act, the Motor Third Party Act, and it can't be downplayed really. Even that little money sometimes can help. Like I said, depending on the injury, it may be a small injury, but which can cause a death. So it can help sort that injury. If the claim process is, if we have NGOs like his which would educate people on the process of claiming for this money from whoever would have knocked them, it becomes very important. The challenge is sometimes, in most cases, there's no awareness out there.
Right.
People don't know the process. And a lot of there are a lot of things that people are not aware about in this country, and that is about awareness programs that need to keep taking place. Right,
right. Mr. Sam, just let us in quickly on that particular process, the motor third-party claiming process. I'm a victim. I don't know where to start. So what's the process?
The process, you have to make sure that you have what we call a traffic police report. It has all the details of the driver of the vehicle that knocked you, and then it has even the sketch of the accident scene. So it is what the insurance based on. Then you have to make sure that you have the medical report. You have to make sure you have the receipts. You also have to make sure there is a LC1 letter for introduction. And then once you have all those, all those requirements, then you are supposed to, because on that police report, it has the details of the insurance. So once you have compiled your file and all those requirements which I've mentioned, then you go to the relevant insurance. The insurance company, once they will check and confirm that this sticker belongs to them, and then they will start the process. Also, they have to verify also to do their own investigation.
Right.
And then
which takes forever.
No, these days insurance pays, because there is a biting regulator, insurance regulator authority, and even other new insurance which have come in have changed the mode of doing insurance business. They want to see people paying. So insurance these days pay once you have all the relevant documents.
So what you're telling me is, if I'm involved in a road accident, I actually can claim.
You can claim.
Okay.
Yes, you can claim when you are, even when you are deceased. There is also, but it's a long process. When somebody who has died, there's a long process. Then you need to get a postmortem. Postmortem is also money. Then you need to go to get the letter of estate. So it's a long process for somebody who has died.
But you'll still get your
yes,
compensation.
you still get compensation.
All right. Okay.
The challenge we have is that the traffic police report itself is very expensive. It is 80,000. Remember, this is a person who has been admitted in a hospital. He may not be able to raise this 80,000. Then the LOC letter also, somebody want to charge you money. So it's the process of getting it. But for those who have approached us, we have been able to assist them, and insurance have paid.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let us in on this one, Mr. Ronald. And we always have this conversation, and we say that on solutions, we will not so much, you know, bog down the government of what they've not done. So when it comes to road safety, as road users, as much as maybe I'm not a driver, you know, maybe I'm just a pedestrian or a border, you know, rider, what are the ABCs of road safety? What will you be preaching today, so we just bring these numbers down, especially now that we are, you know, just counting down towards Christmas, and this is a heavy season for traffic?
So what we're going to be talking about today is mainly about preventing the accidents from taking place. So we're going to be talking about the appropriate speeds that we should be driving at. We're going to be talking about the wearing of helmets. We're going to be talking about how pedestrians should behave on the road. We're going to be talking about the dangers of not wearing a seatbelt. We're going to be talking about the best way to move around with the children while using the road. We're going to be talking about crossing points for the road. We're going to be talking about first aid response, like I've said. So we're going to talk about all the risk factors that are known to us. We're going to be talking about condition of vehicles. People should get their vehicles in the right order before they settle for their journeys. Probably get them inspected before they go. We are going to have a discussion around the best way. In all, we're going to have discussions. How do you, as a road user, you know, all of us are road users.
Right.
How do you, as a road user, whether you're a driver, pedestrian, a motorcycle, cyclist, how do you protect yourself? And especially for drivers, how do you protect yourself and others? Because a vehicle, in this case, specifically, if you are behind the wheel, like there's someone, I'll borrow someone's phrase, she knows herself out there. The vehicle in this case is a weapon. How do I prevent this weapon from killing people? So we need to, that's how the training is going to be. So it's going to be different because we're going to stop at bus stages and at taxi parks and some pedestrian areas.
Right.
So the messages may be different in all those places because all these people need to do things differently. So pedestrians need, for example, to walk on the right. They don't keep left. Pedestrians are supposed to keep right.
We always think that we are all supposed to keep left.
Yes, so pedestrians are supposed to keep right, not left. That's in the highway code. We're going to be giving out materials, by the way. We're going to be giving out flyers. We're going to be giving out the highway code to the users on the sides of the road, so they can internalize this information. And these materials we're going to give them out for free. So that's the approach we're going to take today.
All right. And let me ask you this before I move to Mr. Sam. When it comes to taming the boda boda industry, you've talked about helmets. How far have we gone in terms of just ensuring that we enforce this? Because we all say this, and when it comes to road safety, as much as you've said that the driver of the car is the one who is holding that weapon, when it comes to nighttime driving, we have boda boda riders who don't wear helmets, who don't wear reflectors. So how far have we gone in terms of making sure that this particular group of people get this right and get this seriously?
Actually, right now, sorry, right now the biggest problem is with not the border borders wearing helmets. It's the passengers now don't want to wear helmets. The border borders now are around 70% compliant with helmet wearing regulation. But we still have a very big challenge. With the passengers that they carry. First of all, it's very important for passengers to be aware that don't get on a border unless you're wearing a helmet. That's one, and then don't allow to be carried by. How do I put this? There is supposed to be one passenger, strictly one passenger on each border. That's the only way the ride of that border can maintain its balance. And can control it. So when you have that combination of not wearing helmets, and then you have 3 passengers, you can very easily crash into a vehicle, crash into a trench, and cause serious injuries.
Right.
So in terms of, we have a regulation on borders, which we are working with as a government. It's quite a challenging task trying to get these borders, but I think the best approach will be that we are going to work especially with local governments to ensure that these borders are organized. That's one of the biggest problems, is that they are not organized. You don't know who is working where. So we're going to make sure that we organize them into a system that we shall be able to tell which border works from where. And they are public transport vehicles. So like the President has said on several occasions, we are going to be tracking them to know where they are. Right. This is something that we have discussed. It was discussed from the highest level of government, and we as technical people are now trying to implement. So I think we have already a proposal on how the system is supposed to work. We have listened to some proposals. So we shall know. We are going somewhere with them. Okay. And we shall know where they are all the time. They are used in crime, for example. One of the things, I remember when we were meeting, we were discussing some of the proposals. You have a proposal where you can tell if a border has been circling around someone's house for some time, and you can really see this border has been doing this. Okay. Then you can tell this where this border is. So you start looking for it. Right. So we are going to put all those measures in place. Okay.
You are the voice of victims, but just let us in on this one. For example, if now I want to claim as a victim, but maybe I was the one on the wrong, or maybe I didn't have a helmet on. For example, if I'm a passenger of a border. Will I get compensated? Do we get to that point whereby we now educate people to ensure that they know that, by the way, the instances where you'll not get compensated because you're the one who did not adhere to XYZ rules?
On that case, as long as you are a passenger or a pedestrian, you're entitled to be compensated.
Regardless?
Yes, because in that report, the report will show those who were injured in that report, and your name will appear in that report, and then you'll go and claim.
So even if I'm a pedestrian who maybe was crossing the road recklessly, then I still stand to be compensated when I claim?
We still have more challenges, and this is where the police has not done their part in investigation. And today we saw where they were talking of corruption in police. Right. The traffic police report, it is handwritten, especially the sketch is handwritten. When I was sharing with lawyers, they told me they can even twist it. So also to investigate that this person was crossing recklessly is also very complex. It is very complex, you may not tell.
Let me just come in here and say something that I've always wanted to say. Yes. And I always say that when you are a pedestrian, you take as much care as possible not to get knocked. But when a vehicle knocks you, and I've tried to discuss this with police. Let us not have that reason for an accident is careless pedestrian. In countries that have managed road safety in this world, that has never been a reason for someone to get knocked. That careless pedestrian. It's like saying, if I've been hit by a stray bullet, I was careless. If you knock me, I'm supposed to be, if you're a driver, you're supposed to be on the lookout for pedestrians all the time.
Right.
And in this country specifically, there are very many. So you're supposed to be on the lookout for pedestrians all the time. So in road safety management, we don't agree that a pedestrian can cause an accident. It could be a factor, but you don't then put the blame, you don't really put the blame on them. So they should still be compensated.
Okay.
So that is something that probably I was trying to say that, you, for example, how do you investigate a reckless pedestrian?
It's
That's
really
why.
hard,
That's why in practice you don't really go into that. You strictly investigate this person driving the vehicle,
right.
driving the vehicle, driving the motorcycle.
Okay.
So pedestrians really, we even have a regulation on road rules. For example, the road rules that we have, we don't even attach an offense. We give guidelines for how pedestrians are supposed to be to use the road, but we don't attach an offense to careless, that careless pedestrians shall be punished by the service.
Right, right.
I think the issue now, there is a new trend now where the pedestrian can be blamed. These days you find somebody is crossing the road while he's on phone. Sometimes he may be a drunkard. So if let's say we are to invest in an investigation, we may say, did this person, by the time when accident happened, was both the driver and the pedestrian on the phone? Or was this pedestrian drunk?
Right.
We may do some tests.
Okay.
But the issue is that you can also do calculations and see at which force was this pedestrian knocked.
Okay, all right. And as we come to a close, I need you to talk to us today. Talk to the viewers. Your cameras, camera one. As we go into this festive season, what would you tell the viewers? We can start with you, Mr. Ronald, as we come to Mr. Sam.
Oh, what I will tell the viewers is that life is precious. You can't get it back. Especially if you're using a border, please wear your helmet. Please wear a helmet. Please wear a helmet.
Okay.
If you are going on a long journey in a private vehicle, please wear your seatbelt. And drivers, wear your seatbelt and make sure that all the passengers are wearing seatbelts. But if you're driving, please keep your speed below 80 kilometers per hour. For whatever reasons, there's no need to rush.
Okay.
And look out for pedestrians. 40% of the people in this country are pedestrians. So please look out for pedestrians. They may be your sister, they may be your nieces. I have a bad experience of someone I know who knocked his niece in the village going for Christmas. So please look out for pedestrians and drive carefully. All
right, thank you. Mr. Sam, 1 second.
Yeah, I would request that the police have a toll-free, that even on checkpoint, they can always enter to the bus, talk to the passengers, and even show them the toll-free which they can complain. We encourage the passenger that they should complain and report reckless driving.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sam Bambaza. He's the team leader at Hope for Victims for Traffic Accidents. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
Also, Mr. Ronald Amanyire, the Secretary, National Road Safety Council at the Ministry of Works and Transport. That's been it for Solutions segment. Keep your views coming. The hashtag is Morning at 10 TV across all the social media platforms. Morning at 10 TV still continues. Up next is Flavia Tumusime with Take Note.